All right. Peace and love, everyone. Welcome back to my channel. If you're new, please like and subscribe. And I'm so happy and delighted to be here with you this evening on this Wednesday, hump day in the middle of the week. And I hope everyone is surrounded by peace, love, and happiness and good health and abundance. And more importantly, I hope each and every one of you is staying cool in the midst of this heat wave. And it's been a supremely, extremely hot summer. And the heat started early. Usually it gets hot in July or August in the DMV, but June was quite hot and it's still very hot. And based on the people that I've talked to around the country, from the East Coast to the West, even the far west, like northwest coast, they're all experiencing a lot of extreme weather this summer. And so wherever you are, beloveds, I hope you are staying hydrated, staying cool, staying in the shade. um, and I love to hear from you how each and every one of you is doing. So please, make sure you drop me a message either on YouTube or via email on Instagram. So, all right. So we're back. Have been away just briefly for a week or two. It's been, I think 2 weeks exactly since I had the last live with, Brother Idris. So tonight's topic is how your relationships measure your wellness. How your relationships measure your wellness. And the inspiration from this draws mainly from a lot of the conversations and things that I'm having with people about how their lives seem to be chaotic when it comes to their relationships with others, or seems to be toxic. And then we see many people that have all kinds of what you would call success in life. Success looks different for everybody, but so there are lots of people who seem to be successful on the surface with their career, with their finances. They may be amassing a lot of wealth and abundance, but their personal life, their relationships with others is a bit chaotic, toxic, or unhealthy. And you can't have a healthy life, or a life of, a healthy lifestyle, if all aspects of your life are not balanced and in harmony with each other. So that's what we're going to be talking about and exploring this evening. So as we move forward in our healing journeys, self-reflection is a fundamental part of that. We must first examine ourselves. What areas or aspects of ourselves need more growth and more attention? Do you need more attention in some areas than others? Because there's many different aspects and many different things that make us who we are. One of the things that we need to ask when we do this self-reflection is, what needs are not being met? And and also, on the positive light, celebrate the growth and the changes that we have made thus far. So don't always focus on what's missing, what's absent, or the lack, but also, seek balance, the duality, and celebrate the growth and the changes and the great things that are happening in our lives. And all of us, family of light, are moving and growing and evolving. Some of us for the better, and discovering in this journey of life about ourselves, although we're doing it in different ways. So that self-discovery looks different for everybody. How it looks for one person, or, well, I should say self-discovery. I should say the journey of life is different for each person. How one person is approaching it or growing and evolving looks different from the next person. So, it's not fair to compare yourself to others, because everybody's destiny and their life plan and their journey is different. Some people are riding the wave, and some other people are feeling like they're being drowned by the water. So it just depends on their experience. It depends on their perception. It also depends on where they are in their journey. I could have told you, there's a saying that sometimes when we're going through hardship in our lives, it feels like we're being buried. And then someone else told me it's not that we're being buried, we're being planted, depending on how you choose to look at it. And I can say personally for myself, about a year ago or so, I may have felt like I was being buried versus planted. So now I'm in a different frame of mind, in a different space, and things are feeling different. And the this is a year of, I guess, manifestation and fulfillment. So I'm more of like in the growing stage, if you will. And so we are all in different stages in this journey of life. And part of it is the moving and the growing and the evolving and discovery of and mastery of self. So our journeys all look different. Um, and so avoid the comparison or the judgments of others. So when people try to tell you that you should be a certain place in your life because somebody else is there, or that you had certain opportunities, don't listen to that, because they don't know the journey. They don't know what you've been through. They don't know, your prayers or what's going on in your life for them to make that kind of judgment. Even family members, it's not fair for them to say that, because your journey and your walk is different from anyone else's. We are very unique individuals, and we all have unique experiences that shape us and make us who we are. One thing I've noticed is that many people have aspects in their lives that are reflecting a greater need for healing and change, and that is the aspect of their relationships, the relationships with themselves, with others, with friends, family, significant others, or whoever. All of those are considered relations. Even the people that you work with or go to school with, that those are relationships. Because it's how you relate to other people and how you interact with them. All of that is relationships. Um, Many people have very successful careers, so it appears, lots of recognition from the community. They may be best-selling authors. They may have a lot of clout, a lot of, status in the world, whatever, but their relationships that they have in their, behind closed doors are in trouble. Their relationships with themselves and with others, because all relationships begin with you first. Someone told me, you can change whatever you want to change, but you take you everywhere. So you are the foundation for all of your relationships, because you are a part of every relationship. So, you may say, well, I don't get along with the people at work, or I don't get along with family, or I don't have friends, or whatever the situation may be. You are a part of each of those relationships: career relationships, family, friends, any civic associations or sororities or fraternities that you're a part of, any committees, any advisory boards, whatever the relationships are. You are a part of it, because it wouldn't be a relationship if you weren't in it. So you and your significant other, you are a part of that relationship. You and your family, you are a part of that, unless you remove yourself from them. Um, if you're having trouble with, on the job with the co-workers, the boss or whoever, or you are the boss and you having, toxic relationships in the work environment, you are a part of that. So remember that you are a part of the relationship. And not only are you a part of the relationship, you also have a pivotal role in every relationship. And if you're in a relationship and you feel like you don't have any voice, you don't have any acknowledgement or freedom or personality in that relationship, if you feel like you're invisible in a relationship, then that is also a toxic relationship. If you feel that you're not seen in that relationship, or you're ignored or whatever, that is also problematic. So we're going to be talking about all of that this evening. um One of the reasons why people have these relationships that are not healthy is some people wear multiple masks. They have a mask that they wear in public, and then they take it off, and they are someone different at home or in private, and vice versa. Some people wear the mask around, in their private life and not in public. So people wear multiple masks, and we have to remember that masks are used for concealment and to hide identities. So those people who put on this false persona of themselves in public, they need to ask themselves, but they're probably not aware of it, but what is it that you're trying to conceal? What is it that you're trying to hide? Are you hiding that you're unhappy? Are you hiding that you're depressed? Are you hiding your true feelings? What is it that you're trying to hide from the world? And people do that. People hide their unhappiness, their sadness, their sorrow, their pain, their demons from others. And when they feel they're in a space where they're safe or comfortable, they let all that stuff come out. And that's usually on people that they know they can mistreat, or people that they feel it's safe to act a certain way around. So many folks go to work and they're so pleasant. They're so, they're putting on this mask, this persona of something that is not them around others. And then at home, that's when they often break down. I had a friend who lost a coworker. He took his own life a few years ago, and she said he was always smiling, he was always laughing. He was a lot like the comedian Robin Williams. She said he was just always pleasant, full of jokes. And one day he just went home. She said he left a cryptic message on Facebook, and that's when, sometime later he didn't show up to work, and that's when, a few days went by, and they were all notified that he had taken his life. And everybody was shocked, she said, at work, because he was such a pleasant person. He was so jovial and always smiling. And we just never know what people are hiding inside. And so that is one of the reasons why we do this, because all of us are in need of some form of healing. And so this is why we're having these discussions, because it's so needed. Many people live their entire lives wearing these masks to hide the pain, the trauma, and other things that go unhealed. And so we don't want to wear masks. We want to be our authentic selves. And the best way to be your authentic self is to face and what's troubling you, and to seek healing, and to actually do the healing work, so that you can heal and be who you truly desire to be, and be in a state of peace and happiness. um some folks get on public platforms and seem to have it all together. They may have perfect weight. They may look great on the outside. They may seem to have it all going for them, but they don't. And they are really suffering silently or falling apart. And a lot of times it's unfortunate, that narcissism is such a serious problem in our world, but there are many people who are suffering silently, and they are surrounded by people that, family members or a significant other, and that person just is totally oblivious to the pain that the other one is in, and just totally uninvolved in the other person's wellness. And so these unhappy relationships often become the basis for a lot of people's family lives and their just lives in general. Many people who grow up in abusive households, who are exposed to abusers and narcissists early in life, they become in a sense conditioned to be people pleasers, to walk on eggshells, to not express themselves, to dim their own light because of someone else around them who was jealous or controlling or manipulative or afraid of their light. So they create also a persona, and these people are just suffering in silence. So we don't want to be that person, and we all have a right to have freedom and justice and equality in our own lives, even when it comes to your personal relationships. Our relationships, family, are a reflection of us. Okay. They are a measurement of how far we have grown and matured and how much we have healed. Our relationships also show us how much healing we need, and more importantly, how we feel about ourselves. If you see someone that is cycling repeatedly through toxic relationships or bad situations again and again and again, this is oftentimes a reflection of something that is going on with them. Like, do they feel their self-esteem or their sense of self-worth, or the person, perhaps they are very needy or have abandonment issues, and they fear, fear is a big motivator. And so they just find themselves over and over again in toxic situations because the underlying emotion involved is fear. They perhaps they fear being alone, or fear of abandonment, or maybe they fear that they're not good enough. There's many things that people feel, many thoughts in their minds, and sometimes they gravitate towards toxic, unhealthy situations because they're making decisions from a place of fear and not from a place of love and self-love, and not from a place of their highest good and what's best for them. So we're going to explore that this evening as well. So if you want to, all of though I know the people that watch my channel, you all are working on your self mastery and you're working on your own healing journeys. And I know that I'm mostly talking to enlightened people. But if you want to know if you are how you're progressing on your healing journey, you have to look at the status of your relationships. Are your relationships happy? Are they healthy? Are they affirming? Are they helping you with your spiritual growth and development? Are they a reflection of the spiritual growth and development that you have done so much for yourself? You got to look at, and you have to celebrate, the little things, the things that you have done to the DIY moments, the things that you have done for yourself to make yourself better, and to heal, to break the generational curses. Look at all the things that you have done. You want relationships that affirm that and that support that. You don't want your relationships should not be taking you backwards, and should not be invoking feelings that you've worked, that you've healed, so you shouldn't be finding yourself again and again in bad relationships that make you feel bad about yourself, or relationships that make you, how I say, that undo all the years of healing and therapy and things that you've done to heal yourself. You don't need to bring someone or a situation into your life that's going to undo all of that, because that is not not healthy and not good for you at all. You can't have self-worth and positive self-esteem if you are always involved in toxic relationships that are damaging to your soul. I know several women and some men too, and they've told me that all of their relationships have been toxic and have been bad. That is not good at all. That is not. If all of your relationships have been toxic, or if you feel like you are magnet for raggedy people or a bum magnet or whatever, then that's time for you to stop and do some self-reflection and some self-analysis and figure out what is it in me that keeps bringing me back to this space and these kind of people. Is there something that I need to heal in me that keeps bringing me here or attracting these kind of people? What is it that I'm doing? What is it that I'm not doing? What is it that I keep finding myself here again? And they say a lesson unlearned is a lesson repeated. And that is so true. That is so true. So you have to ask yourself, why am I repeating this cycle? Why am I repeating this lesson? Is there something in this for me to learn spiritually, or is it some kind of ancestral memory or situation, that generational that I keep bringing back up? Like, is there a pattern to this? Like, why is this happening? And once you discover why within yourself, then you can start facilitating the healing journey better. And so like I said, your self-worth and your positive self-esteem are all linked to your relationships, and that's all relationships. Because if you are in a toxic work environment, you also have to ask, and I've been there too, you got to ask yourself, why am I in this situation? Am I staying on this job because I like it, or am I staying here because I'm afraid of poverty? Am I staying here because I feel like this validates me in some kind of way? Why am I dealing with this? And that's damaging to your soul and to your higher self, and not your higher self, damaging to your soul and damaging to your sense of self and your self-esteem. So we must seek balance in all of our affairs, family. And if you find that there's a lot of chaos in any aspect of your life around relationship, remember to take that moment to do some self-reflection, some journaling. If you need to talk to a good friend or therapist or what, make sure that you figure out how did you get to this point and where you intend to go to recreate a better situation for yourself and for others involved in these relationships, because we don't want to keep cycling through the bad relationships over and over again, or you find yourself in the same kind of situation again and again, with a different, same demon, just in a different person. And I'm sure lots of you all can relate to what I'm saying, because if ever been there, you've had this experience, or you've seen some others going through this. So always look at your relationships. Look at your relationship. Your relationships are a great indicator and a measurement for where you are on your spiritual journey, and how much you have grown, or what you need to work on and make better. So the first relationship is the relationship that you have with the Most High, Allah, God, Jehovah, whatever, Yahweh, whatever, Yahweh, or whatever you call the Most High, Hawa, whatever. So how do you feel about your spiritual self and your relationship with the divine? How do you feel about your spiritual life? Do you have a healthy relationship with your spiritual self, your spiritual aspect of yourself? As spiritual beings, we must have a relationship with that part of us, our spiritual selves. And the relationship that we have with our spiritual selves is the relationship that we have with the divine. How do you feel about this aspect of your life? Do you neglect it? Have you been denying it? Are you totally out of touch with it? So examine, what do you think about the divine? Do you see it as a gracious, loving being who listens and cares about you, who is invested in you, who is a part of you and you a part of it? Or do you feel it's an angry being that punishes you, that curses you? Or do you feel, neglected by the divine? Do you feel like it's just absent from your life? Do you feel like it has no place in your life? You are a sacred being, and your relationships um, should reflect that. So the relationship that you have with your spiritual self should reflect that. And that relationship looks different for every person. You have to have your own personal relationship with the divine, whatever that looks like. I'm some people are not religious people, and that's cool. Some people are more spiritual, but whatever it is, you should have some kind of relationship with the spiritual side of you and the spiritual side of life. And there's many paths, and all roads lead home. All roads lead to the divine. So you have to seek that path for yourself. You may have been raised one way, and that may not be resonating with your soul, and that's fine. You have to find what resonates with you, what calls to you. The Most High and the divine world, the divine realm will communicate with you. It really will. And if you open and allow yourself to be in a place of to receive, it will call out to you. And that calling is a personal call, is not a conference call. So what resonates with you, what brings you peace, what helps you tap into the spiritual side of life may be different from some other people that including relatives. So you have to find is what resonates with your soul, what brings a sense of peace and satisfaction to you. And you may find a particular path, or you may find many paths. Whatever it is, that is what you should work on and cultivate, because you are a spiritual being having a human experience. And so part of that is you need that divine guidance, a divine wisdom, and that spiritual side of you has to be cultivated. So that is your first relationship. That is your first relationship. And you, in my opinion, you won't have healthy relationships with others till you have that healthy, loving relationship and supportive relationship and enlightening relationship with your spiritual self and the divine. So that's the first and foremost part. And so many of the people, and on the flip side, many of the people that you see that don't have healthy relationships with anyone, the toxic people that and you see, it all starts with themselves and the divine. Like, are they spiritual people, or religious or whatever? Do they have that healthy connection? 9 times out of 10 they don't. So there it is. All right, so the next part is what is your relationship like with yourself? So after your spiritual relationship and connection, what is your relationship with yourself? Because remember, you are the pivotal person in every relationship, regardless of what it is: work, business, family, outside things, your team that you play sports with, whatever it is. You are a part of that relationship. And so what is that relationship with yourself like? um this is a primary relationship. Who are you? How do you really feel about yourself? These are deep questions to ponder. you know do you feel worthy of love? Do you feel worthy of success? Do you feel worthy of abundance? How do you feel about those things? Do you feel you're deserving of wealth? Many people who struggle with poverty feel that money and things like that are and wealth are evil. So how do you feel about these things in your life? Do you prioritize your needs? Do you put yourself first, or do you put other people before you? Do you deny yourself? Do you neglect yourself? Do you make your needs important for you, or are you someone that's a people pleaser, always focusing on others people's needs and not your own? So if you find that you're always being neglected, or if you feel like you're always getting the short end of the stick, are you doing that for yourself? Are you dimming your light when you're around others? Are you ignoring your greatness? Are you suppressing it because you feel that you should, or maybe you were denied that opportunity to express yourself and to, make your contributions heard and seen. So you have to look at all those things. And we have somebody in the chat, Dia. Hi, sweetheart. Thank you for joining. Peace and love. Um, Focusing on your own needs. Do you do that? Do you express love to yourself? Like, how many times a day do you say something positive or think something positive about yourself? Do you say negative self-talk all the time? Change those things. I've done other videos on that, so you can watch those. But focus on how you love and appreciate yourself, because you are the first person that you have a relationship with. Do you have a love language? If so, what is it? Are you expressing yourself with your own love language? Are you do you feel that, whoever your significant other is or your family, are they in tune or in harmony with your love language? Do you stand up for yourself? Do you feel like you're always being abused, you're always the victim? you know do you stand up for yourself? Do you advocate for yourself? Do you express your needs and wants? And if you're in a relationship where your boundaries are and your needs and wants are not being respected, then that's something that you need to take a look at and examine. And may not be the best relationship for you. Also, when it comes to your relationship with yourself, your health is also a priority, and it should be included in the relationship with yourself. How is your health? Do you make your health a priority? Are you taking good care of yourself? Are you, focusing on your own health and your wellness? Many people make sure that they take care of others, but when it comes to themselves, they just ignore and neglect themselves in a physical sense. They don't exercise, they don't do anything that's for their wellness, and that's not the kind of person that we want to be, because you have to take care of the body temple and take care of yourself, all aspects of yourself, mind, body, and spirit. And that is all a part of having a healthy relationship with yourself, is loving, caring for, and being supportive of all aspects of yourself, mind, body, and spirit. The next relationship is relationship with money and abundance. What is your relationship like with money and abundance? There are many people who have a poverty consciousness, who may have grown up poor. Sometimes they may come to hoard things because of the fear of lack, and or they may become just very, I want to say, greedy, just consumed with thoughts of getting things. I've met people who grew up very poor, and they're sometimes they both one extreme or other. Sometimes they're hoarders, they hoard things, because of the fear of lack, and then there's others that are always seeking financial gain, money, abundance, and by any means necessary, and they just are very tight-fisted or whatever. So it just depends, but either one, both of those are extremes, and so you don't want to be the extremely selfish one that is always trying to get a dollar out of somebody, and you don't want to be the one that is so afraid of things that you are hoarding and holding on to things that don't serve you. So look at your relationship with money. Are you always feeling like you're a dollar short? Do you feel like you're always broke? Do you feel like finances and money has passed you by and it's just not meant for you to have it? You got to examine all these feelings that we have about money, because money is an energy, and I've had to learn this myself. Money is an energy, and it's the energy of abundance, and we want that to be flowing in our lives. If we are having issues with it, or if you feel that your finances are blocked, you may have some root chakra issues and healing that needs to be done. You can hit me up if send me an email if you are that person and you feel like you need that. But all these things, our money, it should be healthy, should be flowing in our lives and flowing abundantly, just like our health should be well in every other aspect of our life. So if you're having a lot of issues with money, a lot of financial problems, a lot of financial hardship, that is something that needs to be addressed and do some self-reflection on and find out why. Why is it happening? What is the root of the financial hardship and problems? Is it fear? Is it making some bad choices? Trusting the wrong people? Many people say different things about money and have different feelings about it. But that's something that you need to examine. Like, what is your feeling about it? What's the real feeling that you have about it? Are you someone that as soon as you get money, it just runs through your hands like water, like you just don't value it, or you're too quick to spend it. Everything's burning in your pocket, you can't wait to spend it. All of those things, you have to look at and examine and see, where is it coming from? Why do I feel this way about money and prosperity and abundance? And then once again, don't compare yourself to others, because abundance looks different for many people. Some people having an abundant, rich life means living in a big home, have a lot of money. To somebody else, abundance is, I've got 5 acres of land and I've got this beautiful garden, or farmland. Some other people, abundance could be living in an RV and having the freedom to travel and go places without any debt holding them back. So abundance looks different for different people. I know some people who live the nomadic life and they don't have much when it comes to material possessions, and they're happy and they're content and they're in a state of joy because they have the freedom to move about and they're not tied down by anything, and they don't mind you know not having what some other people feel like is stability. To them, it feels like a trap. So it just depends. Examine your own personal relationship with money. How do you feel about it, and what you can do to heal it, because money is a form of energy. The next one is relationships with family. That can be such a complicated issue. It really can be for some folks. Some people are fortunate that they have loving, supportive families, and that's great. And then there are others that not so loving and supportive, and there's many different dynamics when it comes to that. So examine your own personal relationship with family. Family looks different for many different people, and you have to also define family, because I heard someone say one time, um, the people that you grow up with who are related to you biologically, those are relatives. Family are people that you choose, and people that are bonded to you because you all have mutual things in common, and that you all love and care about each other. And sometimes the relatives are not necessarily family. So that's something else that you should look at and examine. Like, how do you define family? Some people, I heard somebody say one time, I don't have family, it's just me and my husband. That's still family. You don't have to have children to have a family. And then, you have to look at the way indigenous people look at family, because, I am because we are. So your family can be people outside your household, could also be your family. Your friends can be family, your neighbors can be family, members of your any organizations you belong to can be family. friends that support you, that nurture you, that have an authentic bond with you, that can be family. So all of those are different aspects of what we call family. And those of us who have unhealthy relationships with family, there's a lot of healing that needs to be done surrounding that. And do not let people make you feel that you have to stay bonded or connected to them when you know that is not satisfying or for your soul, when you know it's not safe for you, when you know that it's just toxic and doesn't serve any purpose in your life. And so you have to be the one to make that decision when and where, who and what you allow in your life. And so if you feel like you need to cut ties with people and go no contact, then that is your choice, and that is something that only you can decide. You shouldn't be forced to be a part of anything that doesn't feel safe, feel comfortable, feel loving to you. All right, so keep that in mind. Don't let people guilt trip you into anything or manipulate you into anything that you know is not healthy and toxic for you. All right, our next is relationships with friends and romantic partners. And this can oftentimes be a source of a lot of pain for some people and a lot of drama and trauma in their lives. And it's a big indicator, I would say, of toxicity. Lots of folks have a string of awful toxic relationships with their friends and partners. Like everywhere they go, it's like a dark cloud over them because all their relationships end in divorce. All of their, relationships end. They got restraining orders like every so many months. They got a new one. Every time they break up with someone, they got to get a restraining order. They got to move somewhere else because of their, toxic relationships. Um, they're living with this person. That relationship ends. Next thing you know, they're living with somebody else. That one ends. They're moving around a lot. Um, all their friends have turned their backs on them. They've burnt bridges, or or you might be the person that has to burn bridges with people because of how they, mistreated you or whatever. But that's something that you have to examine. You know, why, and if you're that person that has a lots of toxic relationships, or you can't find the right partner, let's look at do some self-reflection. What is it that is attracting you to those persons, and what do you think is in you that's attracting them to you? Look at, do you have a propensity towards attracting narcissists, or being around narcissistic people, or people who are controlling, um, abusive, domineering? Do you find yourself over and over again in relationships with someone that is emotionally unavailable? Are you the person that's always available for your friends, for your loved ones, and you're the good listener, you're the one they can dump all their feelings on, and you're like that emotional sponge? And when you're that person and you allow yourself to be that person, those energy vampires will keep coming and draining you. They always want to talk about their problems, their situations, but when you need someone to talk to, or when you need some support, they're not available to you for you, or they patronize you or make you feel bad. Those are the kind of people that you want to avoid. And you have to look at, what kind of friends, what kind of romantic partners you have, and is there a pattern to this? Like, do you seem to always be cycling through the same kind of situations over and over again? And if so, why? Only you can answer that. Next is your relationship with your career. Hmm. Do you have a career you desire? Are you satisfied with it? Is it satisfying your soul? Are you doing it just for money? Are you doing it just for recognition? Is this something that reflects your inner self and who you are? And many times, people will say no. And in the last couple of years, there's been a great change in the career world. If you notice, I think they call it the great walking out that took place in like 2020, 2021. A lot of people left jobs in large numbers, started working from home, or just doing things different. I myself made a big career change in the last couple of years. Um, is your career a positive reflection of who you are at this stage in your life? Is it a positive reflection, or does it affirm where you are going in life? Maybe it's time for a change. If you don't feel satisfied, you don't feel good about what you're doing, or if it just doesn't serve you anymore, and that's okay. That's no problem, because we all change, and as we change, every aspect of our lives start to change with us. And you can't wear the shoes that you wore when you were 5 years old, and you may have outgrown them. You may have outgrown your current career. It may be time to do something different. Is it time to pursue your dreams? Is it time to pursue your passions? Have your goals changed? The goals I had 10 and 20 years ago are not the same ones that I have now. So you also look at that. And it's okay if you don't know what those goals are, if you don't know what your um, dreams are, you're still trying to discover them. That's fine too. Always remember that this is a reflection of you, and you have to look at and think about what it is that I enjoy doing, and what can I do that I enjoy to make money, because it's wonderful to get paid for doing something that you enjoy doing versus getting paid for something you don't enjoy doing. So think about that as well on your journey. um, so I hope this was helpful for you. Please let me know what you think. I always look forward to your comments and your feedback. Family, we must continue to seek healing in all forms. We have to take responsibility for our own wellness, our own well-being, our own peace of mind and balance. Breaking unhealthy behaviors, generational curses, and cycles of abuse and sickness is a must at this time. Go easy on yourself, family. Remember, you are clearing thousands of years of outdated conditioning and belief systems. So, with that, I want to end tonight's show with love, peace, prosperity, good health, and freedom to you all. Peace and love.